We are in the waning days of the 118th Congress, which is on record as being one of, if not the most ineffective sessions in the history of the U.S. Congress. And one of the reasons this Congress is so ineffective is that it is filled with Republican pinheads like Lauren Boebert, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and Nancy Mace, the woman who single-handedly brought to life the famous Rush Limbaugh term, feminazi. And so, with all the zeal that only fascist frauds can bring to bear, Mace is spending her time attacking and trying to make life miserable for the first openly trans member of Congress. I'm going to unpack what Mace is doing in just a minute, but first, why is Mace being so spiteful and hateful to a minority member of Congress? Because Mace is one of those anti-Christian Republicans who strongly believe that being mean-spirited, closed-minded, and self-centered is a way to project power and to connect with voters who feel disenfranchised. She is famous for her walking video social media posts, which she thinks makes her tough, rather than really bad, low production value ripoffs of The West Wing. She is a shameless self-promoter and an absolute charlatan. If you want to get at why she is going after the only trans member of Congress, go no further than the manufactured and false image Mace creates for herself as shattering the glass ceiling and being a feminist, because she's the first female graduate of the Citadel, a 4-year military college in South Carolina. The problem is, Mace did not shatter that barrier. Shannon Faulkner did. Faulkner sued to gain admission, was harassed and threatened into quitting, but opened the door for Mace to walk in and take all the credit. So it's not hard to understand why Nancy Mace would be sick with jealousy over a real congressional barrier breaker in the person of Delaware Representative Sarah McBride. McBride is an openly transgender woman elected from Delaware to represent their interests around economic and social issues. But Mace can't stand another woman stealing the spotlight, so she went and tried to steal it back. Watch this.
The radical left is calling me an extremist for being a feminist, fighting to protect the rights of women and girls. If being a feminist makes me an extremist or a bigot or a monster, I am totally here for it, because I'm going to fight like hell for every woman and every little girl across this country to protect you and keep you safe.
Mace is going to fight like hell to keep them safe from what? Serial sexual predators like Donald Trump or Matt Gaetz? No, nothing as dangerous as that. She wants to keep women safe by picking on trans women. According to CNN, Mace filed a resolution to ban trans women from using women's bathrooms on Capitol Hill. Watch this.
Sarah McBride doesn't get a say. I mean, this is a biological man. He does not belong in women's spaces, women's bathrooms, locker rooms, changing rooms, period, full stop.
Republican Congresswoman Nancy Mace introducing a resolution to ban transgender women from using the women's restrooms at the U.S. Capitol. The move comes just weeks after the first transgender person was elected to Congress. Democratic Congresswoman-elect Sarah McBride will be sworn in January. She responded in a post on social media. She writes this, quote, "This is a blatant attempt from far right-wing extremists to distract from the fact that they have no real solutions to what Americans are facing. We should be focused on bringing down the cost of housing, health care, and child care, not manufacturing culture wars. Delawareans sent me here to make the American dream more affordable and accessible, and that's what I'm focused on." Some of McBride's soon-to-be Democratic colleagues defended the incoming lawmaker. Congressman Joe Morrell telling Axios, quote, "I think we have a lot of problems in America. I don't think spending time worrying about the restroom is an order of priority here." Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez called the move plain bullying, while Congresswoman Becca Balint said cruelty is the point.
There's one thing missing from CNN's report, though. They cut footage of what Mace had to say when speaking to reporters. Watch this.
I'm going to be standing up here. I will file this again next congressional session. Sarah McBride doesn't get a say. This is about women. This is about girls. This is about our rights and being protected in our private spaces. I don't want to see a man in a women's restroom.
So there it is. In a stunning Freudian slip, Mace admits that this is about her. It's about what she wants and doesn't want, not about those women and girls she says she's fighting for. Watch her dodge and obfuscate the issue even more.
And I'm going to be standing in the brink, standing in his or her way, putting a stop to this insanity and this nonsense. She doesn't get a say. This is about real women and women's rights. And the far left, radical left, they want to erase women and women's rights, and I'm not going to let them.
What's the mechanism for checking who's qualified to use the ladies' room then? Like, just sort of generally. Obviously, Sarah McBride has identified herself as a trans person, but what would be the,
Here's the deal. Biological men shouldn't be in women's private spaces, period.
So notice when she starts off, Mace tries to be a badass and says that she is personally going to block the way. But then when questioned about how it's actually going to be enforced, she punts. And why? Because this is just a publicity stunt to get her more visibility and endear her to the closed-minded, low IQ people who vote for her. And ironically, this move is going to do just that. It is going to raise her profile and secure her place in history as the bigot who stood in the doorway. Congratulations, Nancy. You get to stand right there next to George Wallace in the pantheon of bigots who tried to hold back the progress of human thinking and acceptance. And seriously, when your only friend and supporter is Marjorie Taylor Greene, it is time to reevaluate and re-examine your life. I'm Anthony Vincent Gallo for Occupy Democrats.